kemi me marrë edhe diçka tjetër këtë muj?
Kena probleme serioze me parën organizat.
Neve nuk na vynë ndihmat, as fundet. Neve na vynë puna. A nuk peshet që as njëra nuk jena mira? Kam të dasht me njës një punë me kret gratë e Krushës. Me maru ajvar për me shqip.
Na ajvar kena maru të njëtën. Që të punë di me kry mas mire.
Po thojnë, ti shkon agimi gjallë, marre i kishar për teje.
Qka do që të bësh, e ro këtë familjen. Nëse si e t'ju bëhe slab djallin tem, unë hala jam gjallë.
Njerëzit ngajnë, iken, sidomos kur tutën. Që shmoj me ditë që dhe ato e kanë gjujt. Qka nëse ka iknojnë?
Vetë nuk mund është mi kry këto.
A ke lyp me t'ni mua ju?
Qysh për shkon, gra?
Mirë.
Ja bajmë na diqysh. Veç ti na kallzona më nësh me shqip, tjera të krejt na i krymë.
Për më ratë, gjumë shindurë.
Spevojmë për ty, për vete, për kretë neve.
What was, I want to talk about the production of the film. What was the process like shooting the film itself? Did you guys shoot on site in Kosovo or elsewhere, or a little bit of both?
We shot in Kosovo. We could not shoot in Krusha Mada, the exact village, because that village was burnt during the war. So most of the houses were really burned down, and people had to rebuild them. So it looks new if you go and shoot there. So we found another village which is a little bit abandoned, but the houses really look old and war-torn. So it really fit the after the war story. And then of course, a couple of scenes were in Pristina and the way and in another village, the river. So it was the whole film was shot in Kosovo, but in different places.
From a cinematography standpoint, how did you go about deciding the tone and look of Hive?
Yes, that was my well, from the moment I met Fahri, I really had this this feeling that this film should be really realistic, and it has to be really documentary style. So in a way, I had these decisions on mine, and then I was talking to two DPs, but then Alex Bloom, although I never met him before, he shot a film of my friends and I liked his work. When I met him in person, actually not in person, we were like having a Skype, and he really liked the script and he responded to it, and he said, I think I see it a really documentary style, and he mentioned Rosetta from Dardan Brothers, which was one of the main films that really inspired me about this film, and I was like, oh, it has to be you, because really he pointed out Rosetta without even me saying anything about it. And I thought that we really just clicked on the idea, on the tone. But also when I met Fahriye in person, and because she herself really had a great impact on me, I really wanted this to be a character-driven story, but also a character, also a camera focused on her.
It's interesting. And now that you say that, she is consistently through the film.
Yeah, she's in every scene. That's why I'm always praising Ylka, because it's her biggest role in a feature film, and she was really amazing about it. She worked for 12 hours every day in every scene, and it's quite a physical role. It's not emotional and physical. So she had to do a lot of work and sometimes be in a very deep water and things like that. But she was really, I mean, she loved the character, and she's a professional actress, and she was really amazing to work with.
So, and what was it like working with her? I mean, was there ever any doubt in your mind that she'd be the one to play the part, or did you know like right away? Did it just?
Oh, no, I had no doubts, to be honest, and I was even more stubborn about it, because Ylka Gashi is a really well-known actress in Kosovo. She was on a TV series, which was a sitcom, one of the first ones after the war, and a lot of people, and she was in a lot in theater and a little bit on feature films, but then she had a break, and she really, after the TV series, she really took a break and didn't attach to many projects, and people really were like, oh, she hasn't acted in a long time, and plus she really looks urban and modern, and I was like, no, I really think it's her. I mean, I really don't. I was like, I have no doubt about her.
Now, of course, this story is heavily connected to what happened in the Kosovo War, and the specter of that war really kind of plays an ominous background character in the film, kind of like a dark spot that you can only bear to see or hear about in moments, which I think is exactly what I felt watching the film. Was it important for you to help others see that experience of what it must have been like for people like her to live in that kind of grief?
Yes, because for me, I really do feel it must be really hard. I didn't really lose anyone during the war. Of course, I was there during the war, and then I left with my mother and my brother. My father decided to stay with my sisters and so on. So we did really, even living in the city, we did go through a lot, but then rural areas were more attacked, and people really lost a lot of members of their families, and they still don't know where they are. So when I asked Fahriye, do you still wait for him? Do you still think he's going to come back? And she's like, sometimes I do. Sometimes I think, what if he comes back? And he just shows up. And I was like, 20 years after the war, she still thinks that he might show up one day. And I'm like, how do you live with that? I mean, losing someone is hard anyway, but losing someone, never finding them, never knowing what happened to them.
Given what you've experienced, shooting a film must feel like something easy, but we all know that's not exactly how it works. Was it hard making this film logistically, physically, or otherwise because of where you had to go to do it?
It was mostly emotionally hard. Of course, we have low budget films, and like, let's say, production wise, a lot of things we had to struggle and be creative about. Physically, I don't think so much, or because of where we shot it, but mostly it was emotionally, because we all had gone through the war and lived through it. And then just thinking about these people, that is why that scene exists, and it is the way you exactly feel about it, because as I said before, I had a lot of struggle deciding how to end this film, because how does it, I think even if they come back, it would be difficult. Even if they come back alive, would be difficult. And of course, that's the best option and the happiest one, but I think it would have been hard anyhow. So and plus that there is no hope that they're gonna come. I mean, I think they still have hope they're gonna come back, but just the idea of having hope and sometimes losing the hope, sometimes really thinking that you're finding them, and maybe sometimes you think that you really want to know, but a lot of times they don't really even want to know that they are dead. Maybe some people really want to live. There are a lot of people who know, and they got their DNA tests and everything, that they don't accept the truth. They don't accept that.
So the film Hive is now the first film in Sundance history to win all 3 major awards on offer. Were you there at the festival when you found out you won? And what did you remember about winning that experience?
The Sundance this year was virtual, and I never went to Sundance even before. And although I always wanted to go, so I was really hoping that my family is going to go to Sundance, and that I will go there and meet some of my friends, but also just really always wanted to go to Sundance. And because it was all virtual, we were in Pristina, and for me, it was really important to be in Sundance, maybe because I studied here, but I just always really loved the festival. And I think it really gives a lot of focus on the indie films. So I thought that was really always amazing about it. So I was really happy that it got in competition, and then our producers were saying, "Oh, we will win an award," and this, I was like, "Come on, people!" And it's hard. It's a big competition. Let's not have high hopes.
Well, Blerta, thank you so much for joining us. Sadly, we are out of time, and of course, congratulations on the Oscar nomination, and I wish you so much continued success. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. I was really nice talking to you. Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Blerta Basholli.